And hello everyone, and welcome back to week 34 of our Minecraft Let's Play series. How you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. So at the time that this episode is currently coming out, the release of 1.21 should have already happened with the Tricky Trials update coming out. Now, due to that being out on June 13th, and this episode's probably going to be coming out on the 21st, it is currently June 11th, and just for the sake of keeping everything in the update into 1 week and not really doing it halfway through the week, we're going to be waiting until the next episode to actually cover all of that. And I apologize for that if you guys were looking forward to it, but just timing didn't work out too well because for some reason Mojang decided to release it on a Thursday and not on a weekend. I'm not too sure, besides a few reasons, but you know, it's fine. So instead, this is the list of things that we are actually going to be doing this week. Starting off with the fact that I want to go ahead and make a sweetberry farm. As we've talked about before, sweet berries are actually one of the items that we would be able to trade villagers with. I didn't have an idea of how we would make a sweetberry farm, but I found out that there is actually a way to farm these AFK, so I decided that we would be building this farm today. Then other things that I would like to do this week, of course, we're going to be doing more villager hall work with going ahead inserting the waterways. I had an idea for including ways to tell what items we'd be able to trade with the villagers. We'll see how well it works. And I was also thinking that we may insert the chest into the storage room. We'll see if that happens because that actually is probably going to take a lot of iron. And then of course we've got some base improvements. I want to go ahead and move the sniffers that are back there. You can't actually see them because they're behind a rock. But then I want to go ahead and do some terraforming and creating the paths. It's the main reason I want to move the sniffers in the first place. Random other stuff obviously is something else I want to do. And then I kept the nether portal corruption on here because yes, I do really want to actually go ahead and fix what the nether portal corruption looks like because it really does not look great, but I keep procrastinating on what I want to do with it. So yeah, that's just my own fault. And then possibly by the end of this week, we may be working on a prismarine farm due to the fact that I just kind of want prismarine to have access to the blocks that are made out of it. So with that all being said, the sweetberry farm has these ingredients. I've gone ahead and already put them all into a shulker box for us, and we have to go ahead and look for a spruce biome or a taiga biome is what it's actually called, that has some foxes that we can use in this farm. And you all know my luck with foxes. If you don't, it's not great, but yeah, we're gonna have to go ahead and find some foxes, and that's where we'll be building this farm. So I will see you guys over when I find one. So yeah, I have to find a spruce biome that has some foxes in it, and not only has some foxes in it, I kind of want to have two, just because that would increase the speed of this, and also just help me in general with actually building this, and possibly expanding it in the future. Now, how hard is it going to be to find a fox? Probably very, not my luck. Oh, fox acquired. No, bad wolf. I didn't know wolves attacked foxes. Thank you for getting the boat. If I do this, right, this is gonna be a pain. But he won't run if I don't stop crouching. He's not the smartest, but that's fine. He has his favorite piece of dirt. Alright, I will be back for you. Don't go anywhere. There we go, there's another fox. Hey, buddy, I'm here. What you got in your mouth? You got some wheat? No, hey, come back, come back. There we go. Hello, buddy. There we go. That is the hard part of this farm done. Now we've just got to actually build the farm. So I guess we got to clear out an area and then we'll start building. So I'll be entirely honest, I'm using this tutorial as more of a guideline and not a tutorial, just because I think the way I'm going to do it would probably be better, as it'd be more on the ground than the actual tutorial. Alright, now, well, first off, we'll go ahead and place these in here, because why not? Do this, just to make sure I do this right. Both of you should go into there. And all right, this is the berry farm. As you can see, obviously the berries aren't really growing because, well, I just planted them not too long ago. But theoretically, the idea is that the berries will grow, the foxes will go ahead, pick them up, and when they pick them up, the berries will drop on the floor, some of them at least, and they will be thrown onto the ground into a minecart hopper that's currently going around, and that minecart hopper will drop it into here. Now, if that works, I'm not entirely sure, but the only way I could find out is if I let this run for a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I might go ahead and even run back to our base to go grab some bones for bone meal so that I can go ahead and just bone meal all these plants and see how well this works when it's all fully grown. Because, like, as you see, there's some berries. There we go. Finally picked up some berries. It should drop into here. There we go. All right. So yeah, I'm going to let this run for, I'd say, probably 10 minutes, and we'll come back, see how the drops have been. I'm not expecting too much because this is a very small farm and it's not even fully grown, but hopefully when the plants are actually grown, it will produce more berries. And all right, after about 10 to 15 minutes of just standing here, this is how many sweet berries we ended up collecting, which isn't bad, honestly, for this tiny farm. I would obviously like it to be a little bit bigger in the future. I think I might even expand it to being like a 24 area, so like expand it to have this quadrant be here, here, and here. But for now, I think this is fine, as well as more foxes too, due to the fact that the more foxes you have in here, the more you have working in here. So oh boy, all right. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and I guess I'm gonna have to go grab some glass to patch this up. So I will do that, and then I think I'm gonna AFK here a little bit longer, and then I will meet you guys back at our base so that we can start doing our other things on our list. That was unfortunate. And alright, now that we're back from the Sweetberry Farm, it is time to work on the next thing that is on our list for this week. And of course, that would be Villager Hall work. As you can see on here, I wanted to do a way to show what items can be traded with the villagers, and also go ahead and insert the waterways into the system. And then maybe, just maybe, we'll go ahead and insert some of the chests as well, but that one might change depending on how things work out. And you may be wondering what I mean by that, so let me go ahead and show you over at our Villager Hall. But first, before we even head over to the Villager Hall, I actually need to pick up some items from the farms around our world, so we need to go do that first. And alright, now that we're here, we can kind of figure out what I'm planning to do with the chest, waterways, and the items. So let's work on the items first, actually. So what I was thinking is that in here, you can tell that there's librarians, right? That is the whole entirety of what is in this portion, but you don't know what you can trade to them for emeralds. So my plan is I'm going to go ahead and make with a bunch of materials. I'll just go ahead and take all the sticks I have in here, turn them into item frames. I'm going to go ahead and put item frames somewhere. I was thinking on these beams that indicate what we can trade with the villagers that are in the corresponding room. So stuff like here, we have the farmer and we have the cleric. There's actually a lot we could trade with these guys. So if I went ahead and just did something like this and go ahead and insert into this chest, we've got potatoes, beetroot, carrots, wheat, rotten flesh, which I've actually just realized I'm missing something now, so I'll go ahead and drop these into here. And alright, after a bit of trial and error, this is kind of what it looks like now. As you can see, we've got the items that we could trade for emeralds up here. We've got our crops farm right here. This is for the farmer, which is right there. We've got the melon and pumpkin farm, also for the farmer right there. We've got rotten flesh and the gold from our gold farm, which is obviously attached to the cleric. And then we got a little bit of a gap here because there are 4 other items that the cleric can trade for emeralds. emeralds, being glass bottles, rabbit's foot, the skewed, and the netherwort, none of which we have farms for yet, but just in case we go ahead and make farms for them in the future, I have a lot of space here. And then for the Fletcher takes string, sticks, and flint. So I left a space for flint, and that would cover all of the emerald trades. For the librarians, we've got the paper trade, obviously. You could trade books. I've debated on that because it is technically something we can just craft, but I think we would just craft it here if we really wanted emeralds. We might make an auto crafter at some point in this area, or like automated crafting area dedicated, and probably it'd have to be over here because we don't really have the space anywhere else. So that is an idea, but we'll see how that works out. But yeah, we've got paper trades, and then we've also got ink sac trades in the future. So that's these at the moment. Currently for the shepherds and the masons, I've got nothing that I'm farming for them at the moment. So, it's just going to have to either stay this way or, well, we'll figure out what else to do with these later. But for now, it's just kind of bare on this beam because there's no trades that I've been farming for. And then we get to this behemoth of a room, which I kind of didn't think about due to the fact that, well, we've got so many different trades in here. But the good thing about this is that the armorer, the toolsmith, and the weaponsmith all do the same trades for emeralds. It's always coal for emeralds, iron for emeralds, or lava for emeralds. And because we're only farming coal in this world at the moment, I can just put that up here, which also works out because the fisherman also takes coal. Or I don't think it's the fisherman, I think it's the butcher. So the butcher takes coal. The butcher also takes raw pork, so that's there. The butcher will also take sweet berries, that's there too. Here's the fish for the fisherman, the string for the fisherman, and then this is leather for the leather worker and paper for the cartographer, which are all the jobs in here, and these are all the items I'm currently grinding for. Sorry for talking your ear off, but there is a decent amount of work that gets actually put into this, so, there's a lot of items to go over. But I'm thinking that's how we're going to be doing the items. I'm not sure how well that's going to work due to the fact that we may have a bunch of items here, due to the fact of how many jobs there actually are in this little area, so we'll see how bad this gets. I might end up even putting some up top, or maybe even some down below here, but we will see. Now, something else I want to just quickly change, even though that's not going to really make much of a difference, is I want to put these. I forgot you can't do that because you stripped the wood. I want to go ahead and put some spruce post here and just kind of line them up with the corners just so that we have consistency here, and I think they'll probably be staying spruce. I'm not too sure. So what I was thinking with this storage room is that we can go ahead and place down barrels, like a strip around here, because I can't let this go out too far. That is a lot of barrels. We might split this up. Give me a second. There, I think we'll split it there for the time being. And of course, mark it with spruce. And then it won't just be like one row, it'll be a little bit more on the top as well. Probably up to even here. Maybe one lower for this to function well. I'm not too sure because eventually the water here is going to have to be at this layer. And then would that work? I'm not sure. No, that might work. Because if we have the water here and then we have the barrels up to here, this water just comes along here, and then we have a bubble column here for the actual loot. Or no, because I forgot we're going to be sending it inwards, so I'm not sure. I just thought having a storage area here would be fine, but we'll see what happens now with that. But just for consistency's sake, I'm going to go ahead and fill this on the other side too. And then I was thinking on this side would be like actual chests. So we'll have chests going in this way. And I think I said before that I'm going to have to go ahead and figure out how to, or not how to, but how much I need to clear this out just because, well, it's a little too far in now to put stuff back here and also to build around it. So yeah, that's going to have to be fixed. And I think actually with the way I have this, I might just go ahead and make an andesite border like we have here, but just make it around the entire room in front of the another portal. So I'm gonna do that just real quick. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking for the storage room. Obviously, these will be built up more, but for the time being, I want to leave them as is just because I need to figure out other parts of this, namely the waterways, because, well, the waterways are going to be the things bringing items into the storage, so that would be important to figure out first, I think. And I also want to go ahead and see possibly of when the update comes out with the auto crafters, if I can go ahead and put some auto crafting things in here, how hard that would be just to kind of put them in. Of course, obviously, obviously I would have to take more of this land out because, well, it's not going to fit probably in a 3-block area, and also not even 3 blocks, this would be 2 blocks because, well, I want to have a back wall to it, but we shall see. We'll see how that works when they come out, which I think is actually tomorrow from when this is being recorded. Oh no, I'm dropping the time that I'm recording this. Oh no, whatever will I do? But with that sarcasm out of the way, I now want to go ahead and put some water in these little channels and try and figure out how I'm going to fit all the water in these so that they all go to the same spot. So the plan for these waterways are simple. First off, I actually need to go one lower with these tracks because I'm going to replace the stone and whatever is down here with these packed ice, just to kind of expedite the process in which the items actually flow into the area. Step number 2 for these actually is just inserting the water. Simple as that. Now, at the moment, I know that we can't have airspaces be where the job site blocks are going to be. We just can't, because the way we're going to be doing this is that we're going to be throwing the blocks over the job site blocks past the villagers, basically into where the villagers are. So we need that, and they'll just slide over here. Now we can't have them be airspaces, because if we have them be airspaces, then it's just going to drop down and not get into the water stream. So I'm going to go ahead and place down some water here. And something I'm actually not too sure of is if this is going to turn to ice due to the fact that it won't be covered, because I'm going to have this be, I think, iron bars. I don't know if it being covered with iron bars is going to stop this from turning into ice or not. We're going to hope so, though. So now with this, we'll go ahead and place a sign here to make it so that we can place another water bucket here, and that's kind of the pattern we'll be going with this whole entire time. That already froze. Wow. All right. I'm actually going to go grab some iron bars. I think they're iron bars. I'll have to check. I'm going to go grab some iron bars, and we'll place them on top and see if that stops these from actually freezing. All right, iron bars. See if this works. Doesn't. I have a plan, but I don't like it. And all right, now all the water has been put into this side at least, where, as you can see, I also went ahead and put in all the iron bars, but the iron bars are everywhere. At the moment, you can even see them over there. And the blocks, or anything I throw behind here now, should theoretically just go all the way to the corner. So I'll throw one here. I will basically just throw them into these sources. So there's one there, one gets thrown here, one can get thrown to here, and then one will get thrown all the way over to here. That should cover all the ground because they all should come through here, and so there should be 4 when I drop down. I had 6, didn't I? I see. Okay, this one's a simple fix. So this one actually isn't going to be that much of a problem because this will actually have a block on top of it when we're said and done with this build. So I'm going to grab some grass really quick, and this grass should keep it from freezing up next time. So if I do this, punch it out so it creates water again, and then I go ahead and throw down the coal block that's here, it should go ahead and head all the way over to this corner. There we go. All right. That makes sense. That makes sense why they don't work. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and now transfer this over onto this side. All right, now we'll do the test like we did last time. So coal here, 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 and finally here. They all should have gone into here, so we'll have 6. Yep, there we go. Cool. So that's the waterways for the bottom layer, and of course I haven't done the top layer yet. I'm not going to do the top layer yet, just the time being. I'll figure out what I want to do with that hopefully soon, but we shall see. Because I've already been here for a while, more than I was expecting to, and I have other things planned for this week, so yeah, we're gonna go do those instead. But I'm glad that we got the work that we did on here for this week. And now that we're back to our base after finishing up at the villager hall, I've actually gone ahead and removed the prismarine farm from the list for this week just because of how long that took. So now what we're going to be doing is we've got base improvements. And these base improvements obviously are just going to be some small things that we're going to be doing around here. One, I want to move the sniffers out of the way, probably up to where the cows and the sheep are, just so they're not in the direction that I want to build a path going from here over to where the little overhang was. That's kind of a plan plan I've had for a while and just never went and done it. I also want to go ahead and do some terraforming over here with the other side of the bridge. Nothing too much, I just kind of wanted to make this a little bit more open instead of it just immediately going up as soon as you get off the bridge, but we'll see how well that works. I'm gonna hope that it actually kind of works out well because I can't necessarily move the bridge now. I mean, I can, but I don't want to, is a better way of putting it. And I think I might actually get to work on this over here. I'm not too sure how I want to do this, like, because I do actually want to make this path look nice and work, but it's just, there's so many things I could do with this and I don't know how to. So that's just something I'm going to have to figure out, I guess, but we'll even see if I get to this. So the first thing I'm going to do right now is probably the easiest out of the list that I just gave us, because it's just taking out some of this, basically backing this up just a tiny bit so that there is enough ground here for a foundation so you can actually walk around here. So yeah, I'm just going to use my shovel and I'm just going to dig this out. Is there really anything else I want to do with this over here? I'm not too sure, because I'm actually quite happy with how much area I've already pushed back. Like, look at this, like there's actually a lot more area to walk here. I don't know how or what I'm gonna do over here, but I do also think that eventually this is gonna have to be removed, just because, well, let's be honest, it's not gonna really fit the aesthetic of the area. I mean, if I could somehow get it to look like it's supposed to be here and not just like a random piece in the middle of nowhere, then I'll keep it here, but right now I don't think that's gonna be happening, so it's probably going to end up getting removed. But I digress. Now we're going on to the next thing, which is moving these guys, because these guys, well, they're in the middle of where I want to build the path from there all the way down into this path. And the other issue with these guys is that I have a minecart track below them that's supposed to be collecting items. I don't even know if it's still running, to be honest. Yeah, it is. All right. So yeah, I want to remove that. I want to remove the sniffers, and then I think we'll just push them up to there, which is going to take a little bit longer because these guys also walk very slow. So yeah, we'll see how that turns out. And alright, now it is time. I'm actually going to go throw all this into our chest over here, but now we got to move the sniffers into where I want them to be. And alright, so bringing them over here is a pain, to say the least. So go ahead and build your thing right here. Alright, all three of you in here. And there's one other thing I need to do, actually, which, one, I need to find the lead that they broke. And then the other thing I need to do is where they were originally, I need to go ahead and take out this moss and replace it with grass. You may have not even noticed it was moss because, you know, it's green on green, but this is because I wanted to make it so the eggs would actually hatch faster. Alright, so now that they are moved out of the way and this is clear, we're going to go ahead and try and make a staircase or a pathway up to here that doesn't look horrible. And that's kind of where the issue lies, because that's going to be hard. Because I don't even know really what to do with like this little hump of earth, because right now it's just housing our villagers, but then you also have the issue of this isn't necessarily that flat. This goes up a few blocks, and I have it go up a block here anyway. So I could technically take this out. I'm not too sure what to do with this. So I guess it's just gonna be break and hope something kind of turns out well. I'm not too sure. Alright, so just a little quick update. I went ahead and made this path upwards, and I think it looks actually relatively nice. It's not overbearing, and well, it flows well into this path, and you can also just go around and go onto this path as well. And I also, just for a little bit of decoration, just add this rock right here because I thought it looked nice. So with both of those done, I'm now going to have to connect this up to here, and then we'll see about what I want to do with that. It's not a great path, but I mean, it works. It does what it is set out to do, and now I can finally go over here without having to actually jump, which is quite nice. So what I might do, though, is just kind of bring this out just a tiny bit. There we go. That looks a little bit better already. And I got to figure out something for you guys, but I don't know if I want to do that yet. So now for you. And I'm going to be honest, I still have no idea of what to do for the outside. However, I do think what would be a good thing to do right now is to kind of figure out the area of which I want this to actually be corrupted, which I'm just going to denote with some netherrack, and we'll go ahead and replace the blocks around here. So like this is going to be nethered. And here is the end result for at least figuring out the border. I say end result because, well, this is probably as far as I'm going to be getting this week due to the fact that I ran out of time. So yeah, so around here, it just kind of goes around in a circle, and then it'll go out a little bit, come back in, and then it ends up over there. I'm not going to have it just like end at the bottom. It's going to go obviously up the wall, but I did not feel like climbing this today, so. And then if we go around the other way, it's kind of the same thing. It just goes around this way. I went ahead and changed the sand into soul soil, just because I thought, you know, if we have sand go straight into netherrack, it'll look a little bit weird, so I went ahead and anytime I broke sand, I turned it into soul soil, but it comes up here and then it goes right into the actual same Z coordinate as the other one does. And then of course it'll go up, and we'll figure that out when the time comes. So yeah, that's actually how far I want to get now. I still do want to do a path leading to the nether portal, but I don't know what blocks I'm going to be changing things to. Oh, and you may have noticed I also went ahead and ripped out the rock right here. That is just because, well, it's not going to be staying in gray stone if it even stays at all. So I thought, you know what, we'll take it out and we'll see what we can work with later. Because sadly is once again that point in the week where I have to go ahead and wrap up this episode. Now, before I do, I'd just like to say a few things. I apologize for the fact that what we've mainly been doing has been working on the villager hall for most of the episode. We work on some farms possibly, and then we work on some base improvements if I get around to it. That, however, will change next week, because for people who wonder when I actually do record these, currently today is June 14th, which you may notice that is one day after the 1.21 update comes out. And yes, we are in the 1.21 update in this world. I just haven't done anything with it because I wanted to save all of that for this week. But just for some proof, you can see that up here, here's all the advancements that we're going to be working towards next week, as well as we're going to be messing around with some crafters, doing some trials dungeons. Just, I want to do everything we can in 1.21, but I didn't want to start it this week when we didn't have that much time, because they ended up releasing it on Thursday, and while I do kind of understand why they went ahead and released it on a Thursday, I kind of wish they were released on the weekend, but you know what, whatever. We have 1.21 and we can actually start doing some things, which also means we could start exploring more of the world, so I should probably think about actually making some more fireworks rockets, because we don't have that many. But yeah, that is actually going to be the plan for next week, is we're going to be focusing on that update in its entirety, kind of like how I went ahead and focused on the update with the wolf packs and stuff like that. When those came out, we'll also be able to work on those. And what I'm actually thinking is that there is a possibility that this update may even take 2 weeks to cover, and if it does, that is fine, because not only am I planning on covering the 1.21 update, but because we're actually now going to be able to go further out, I'm thinking possibly to a radius of 10,000 blocks now, just so that we actually get everything. We might finally be able to complete the wolf pack, the complete catalog, basically get every advancement up until we finally do How Did We Get Here and a Furious Cocktail, which those are even still completely off the table at the moment, because I really do not want to do How Did We Get Here. That is going to be a pain to do. So with all that being said, I thank you guys for watching this week, and for also being very patient with me, because we've been making like very small chips in things, basically not doing much in the way of getting a lot of projects done, but we've been chipping away at other projects that I thought were going to take a while, and I was correct. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you guys have a great week. You guys take care, have a good one, and I will see you guys hopefully in the next week. All right, if you guys are excited as I am, take care, and bye-bye.